Hi, everybody. So, when I wrote the title for this slide deck, I was super confused. Still am super confused that everything I learned about a diverse workforce I learned in the government. That was really weird, really weird to come to terms with. And so, I spent 20 years out here, started in 1994, building web apps like you did, and me and a couple friends of mine, we had a company. We were all women. Some of us were queer. We just sort of did our thing for a long time and thought maybe after 10 or 12 years, it would be a good idea to step out of that safety zone. And I did, and I looked around and I got some jobs. And for 6 jobs in a row, I would build an engineering team or fix an engineering team that was broken and then get told, you can't run this team because you're a woman. I'm like, what? I just built your team. I can't run this team because I'm a woman. Is it because I'm a loud person or antagonistic or just like a jerk? Or no, it's just because you're a woman and our investors don't think that would be a good thing. Okay, so that was weird. And fuck that noise is what I said to that. And so I went into the government because, that seems like the natural next path. But I went to a very specific part of the government, the United States Digital Service, which is Obama's stealth startup. Obama created this little group of weirdo technologists after healthcare.gov melted down, and they fixed that. And then we're like, well, let's keep doing that. Let's keep fixing things in the government. And so over the next 2 years, we just had our 3rd birthday, the US Digital Service brought a bunch of people together to solve the government's gnarliest problems. And there are a lot of gnarly problems in government. And it was a really eye-opening experience because I went in ready to get kicked in the face again, because that had been my last 7 years in tech. You're a woman, kick you in the face. You're not engineering enough, kick you in the face. Like, okay. So I went into digital service, and we have 167 at that time, about 167 to 200, completely flat hierarchy, bunch of engineers, product managers, and designers just building stuff. And it took me a good 2 months to sort of figure out that no one was going to kick me in the face for any particular reason, and that was cool. And by the way, all of our leadership were women, women of color, queer women, men, queer men, like all sorts of intersectionality in our leadership positions. And that was cool. And then I kept having to remember that I was still in the government, which was weird. So cognitive dissonance all around, not just because we had this great diverse workforce in the government, which I didn't expect, but because we got to stay after that election thing. We got to stay and do the same good work that we were doing before that recent election situation. And that was cool. And then I realized, okay, we're going to be here for a while, so let's look around a little more. And then kept coming to the realization that a lot of the government is actually pretty dang diverse and pretty dang inclusive. The Senior Executive Service, which is what your CIOs, CTOs, directors in agencies tend to be, it's 44% women. And the pay is exactly equal. So if you are a technical woman or a woman in a STEM position in the government, and you are good at your job, and you rise up the ranks, you're going to get paid the same amount of money. And that's weird, coming from the private sector. There's like all these sort of weird, mind-blowing things that shouldn't be mind-blowing, right? They should just be like normal, but they're not. Realized that we were walking in as a digital service team, walking into agency teams to help them figure out their gnarly problems. And their CIOs and their CTOs and their other execs, women, people in various stages of their career, people of color, people with visual disabilities, like all sorts of folks who are just really, really good at their jobs. That wasn't what I was used to after 20 years in tech in the Valley. Sorry, Valley. So it became a place where we could just focus on the work. And no one has told us not to do any of the things that we're doing. And so we're working for veterans, we're working for families of active duty military, we're working with immigrants, people trying to become citizens, we're working with farmers, we're working with kids stuck at the border who can't go one way or the other and don't have anywhere to live. We're working with military deployed in Afghanistan. Sometimes the GPS goes a little wonky, and someone needs to go fix that so we don't bomb the wrong people. And like we're helping all of the people that we all represent. And no one in the government, currently included, has told us that we can't do something because there's a woman who's leading, or a person of color who's leading the team, or a queer person who's leading the team, or any and all of the above. And that includes, like still today. We have a sign in our office window, which is directly across from the White House. We put that up on August 12th, which was after Charlottesville, and it says, "Hate has no home here." And some people got a little anxious about that, walking past, because our office is across from the White House. But our administrator was like, well, that's one of our core values, and we're not taking that down, and you're going to have to make us. And no one's made us. And so we have 6 core values that the U.S. Digital Service uses to sort of get through the day. One is create momentum, go out into agencies and make things happen for the people, American citizens, those who want to become citizens, anybody who has to interface with the government. Another one of them is find the truth and tell the truth. And it doesn't matter to who we're telling the truth. We've told cabinet secretaries that their systems are broken and that they're hurting people, and they're hurting our most vulnerable people, and that needs to get fixed immediately. And oh, by the way, here's a team that can come do that, clear us a path, get us a room to sit in. We're going to fix that. Another core value isn't written down anywhere, but it's hate has no home here, which should just be the way it is, but unfortunately isn't across all of government. And that government is incidentally paying for me to be here and say these things, so that's great. If I don't have a job in a couple days, I'm going to call some of you. But we, find the truth, tell the truth. I believe that so wholeheartedly. I have it tattooed on my body, because we're going to keep doing that, because our work benefits every single person that has to interface with the government, which is every single person. And we can help each other do that. So it took me a long time to get used to, it took me a couple months to get used to the fact that I wasn't going to get kicked in the face in my tech role in the government because I was a woman, or because I'm queer, or because I have a lot of tattoos, or whatever the case may be. So we can focus on getting the work done. So if you would like a chance to do that too, come do a little tour of duty with us for 3 months, 6 months, a year, go back to your jobs after that if you want to. We kind of trick people into staying after 3 months. Some of them have stayed a couple years. They never meant to. Join us, join 18F, our friends at 18F, or Code for America. Join a Code for America brigade. Use your skills to help everybody. There are places and ways to do that. I would say, don't discount a career in the federal government, even now, because it can be a very interesting place to work, and you can help people who need your tech skills more than anything to help fix the broken systems that exist in government, and that would be all of them. And then go back into the private sector and tell your companies, hey, by the way, the hardest problems in government, serving the people, they don't have time to deal with shit like, you're a woman, you can't be on our board, you're a woman, you can't be an engineering lead, you're queer, we don't want you anywhere near the public, because it's all about the work. And really, shouldn't it always be all about the work, no matter where you are? So giving a plug to USDS, join us, or just chat with us, send us some of your engineers, product managers, and interaction designers. But generally, just remember that as crappy as the news might be sometimes, and it sometimes is, there are some people in government agencies, us, those that we work with, that are doing nothing but buckling down and trying to work very, very hard to build a more awesome government through technology, no matter who lives in the big White House in DC. Thank you.